So welcome to our October 2024 Basic Sampler here at Close to Home in Southington. You need to bring in your completed September block beginning this Saturday, October 19th through October 31st to get this October block kit free. I have a couple announcements. We have plenty of used machines ready to go. You can check our website under pre-owned. They are in all 3 locations. Just come on in, let us know what you're looking for. Also, we have a very large assortment of select Finish the Bolts at 50% off. And during the All New England Shop Hop, we have $3.50 instant rebate off of every 1 yard cut that you purchase, and some exclusions do apply. We also have buy 2 fat quarters get 1 free, and buy 2 threads get 1 free. There are many classes forming, as well as a brother educator coming right here to our Southington location on December 6th to demonstrate the newest, most beautiful brother high technology sewing, embroidery, quilting machine. It's called the Avenir. And it is a 14-inch throat opening with a hoop size of 11 by 18 inches. So extreme, absolutely gorgeous, many really cool features, and it's a free demonstration by an educator, and so all you have to do is sign up and let us know you're coming. All right? And just register here. All the other locations are doing it as well. All right. Our basic block for October is going to be using the Tri-Rex tool. This unit right here is a triangle in a square, and you can make them according to however large you want. Ours are finished at 4, but you can make them 1 inch, or you can make them 7 inch, 6 inch, however big you want in your patterns. But our blocks are going to be finished at 4 inch. All right. The cutting instructions, pretty simple. The white is going to be cut into 2 strips, a 5-inch strip and a 4.5-inch strip. From the 5-inch strip, you're going to get 2 squares that are 5 inches square, and you're going to cut 2 squares that are 2 7/8 inch, and these 2 squares will be cut on the diagonal once. And these white triangles are going to be in our square and a square in the corners. The 4.5-inch strip, you can cut it at 13 or you can leave it. You need at least 13 inches, which there is plenty there. Black seed, 4.5, the entire length of your kit strip. The sable is our square and a square in the very center. 3 3/8, you just need 1 of those. And the feathers are 5-inch squares. Now, mind you, the squares for the feathers and the squares for the white are for the half square triangles, and we will be trimming those down, okay, once they are made. So they're a little large, but trimming them makes them actually work better in the block, and things fit together a little bit easier. So let's go straight into the Tri-Rex tool. So what I have to do is cut my black seed fabric 4.5 inches, and this is going to be used for the Tri tool. So for those that don't know what these tools are, it's a 2 package. It's a 2 ruler package. One is the Tri tool, the other is the Rex tool. And again, you can make these units from anywhere from 1 inch finished all the way to a 6-inch finished, just by simply cutting strips. Okay, I have backed my rulers because it's by Easy Quilter. There are no grips on it like Creative Grids. So I have put this oh, it's called, here it is. It is called InvisiGrip by OmniGrid. And I just rolled it out, put my ruler on, and cut right around the template. And now when I use this, sorry, wrong side, you can see how it's really, really amazingly grippy, where this, as I push, just kind of pushes it along. So it's very useful, and the packaging comes like this. It's a 2 ruler set. All right, so let's get into the try tool first. I'm going to cut this 4 1/2. That's my black seed. I'm going to put it on the fold and trim it nice and square. So my fold is up here along any line. It could be any line on my ruler is fine, just to get a nice 90-degree turn. Flip that around, and 4 1/2. Okay. So now when I open my strip, because I put that here and came down at a nice 90 degrees, when I open my strip, I should have a nice straight rectangle going across and not a little flip on it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take our try tool. We're going to line up the top of our tool facing us, facing you. The top of the tool is at the top of my strip, and the 4 1/2 inch marking, it's kind of hard to see, mine's kind of worn out a little bit, but this solid line that's marked 4 1/2 with the arrow goes along the bottom of your strip. So I'm going to just flip that around, line up my try tool, and I'm going to get as close over to here as I can. There is plenty of fabric, but I don't like to waste. And we're going to go up one side, and if you want, go to the other side of the table and cut that side. All right, so that's number 1, and we're just going to rotate and do number 2. All the way across, we need 4. Do not fold your fabric and cut these. Okay, just cut them on a single piece of fabric, right side up. There is not enough fabric to make 4 if you fold it. So please leave it open to a single layer. All right, so we've cut those. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get ready with our rec tool. All right, so your kit comes in this very large piece of white fabric. The first thing I asked you to do was cut a 5-inch strip and then a 4 1/2. All right, so again, I put the fold on any line and get myself a nice edge. Because I'm right-handed, I'll turn it around and measure over 5 inches. So this 5-inch line is along my cut, and this line is along my fold, and I have a 5-inch piece of fabric. This one gets cut into 2 5 1/2s and 2 2 7/8. The remainder is a 4 1/2 inch strip, just like the cutting instructions showed you. And this is going to be used for my Rex tool. So here's my half, and 1 2 3 4. This one you want to leave folded, okay? Very important, because I need both a left and a right to go next to these edges on my try tool. So I'm going to keep it folded. Again, it doesn't matter if it's right sides together or wrong sides. You'll notice that there is a notch just like the top, nice flat part of this ruler, and that's going to go right up on the edge of my strip. And again, that 4 1/2 mark, just like the try tool, points right down to this solid line, and that's going to go right on the bottom of my strip. I start over a little bit to get a nice clean cut, and then there's one more notch right here. I'll show you. We'll go up this little notch right here. It's hard to see, but you want to make sure you cut that off. Go to the other side of the table, or whatever's comfortable for you, and you're going to cut a pair of rects. All we do is we twist our ruler around one more time, and we cut a second one. Now we have to do this 4 times and cut our little notch. Okay? Don't forget to cut that notch. Very, very important. And we'll do it again and again to get 4. All right? So now we're going to lay all of our triangles. I have a left and a right, left and a right, a left and a right, and I should have 2 more if I continue to cut. The tri-tools are going to go, the tri-units are going to go right inside these like this, a left and a right. So we're going to do all the righties first, so I'll do 2 of these. You're going to flip this over, and remember that notch that we cut out on our template? It's going to go right along the top edge of my triangle, and this edge here is going to go right down the edge of my fabric. So it's going to lay right like that, and this is going to come off the end. That's okay if it comes over a little bit over here, that's perfect. But what we want is that this edge too has this little triangle tip up at the top. All right, so let's go ahead and do it one more time for you. Get my iron hot. All right, come on over. So one more time, I'm going to line this up so that that notch that I cut is along the bottom of my triangle, and that this follows the edge right off the edge. All right, so we're going to come in at that little point, 1/4 of an inch off the edge. Okay. Raw edges right on top of each other. There's one. You can go ahead and do another one. So we'll line this up, line that up, and we'll start. And these are all going to get pressed toward the rects. So if you turned it over, you can see that this blue thread is coming right out into that point. And that's what we want, our 1/4 of an inch. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and press these. And if I'm pressing them toward the rects goes on top. Give it a little bit of heat. And then I'm just going to flip this up and hold it just for a few seconds. Depends how hot your iron gets. Warm up my seam. I'm just going to flip that over. And on the back, your seam allowance should be pressed to the white rects. All right, so let's do the other side now. All right, so I'll put these back. I have 4 of these and 4 of these done, and this one gets flipped over to the top, and yep, that little notch that we cut off on the rects tool lands nice and flat, flush against the top or bottom of our triangle. This point up here will meet and make another triangle just like the one below it. So you see the little triangle that's hanging out up at the top? This one will sit right up on top of it, and our seam will come out right in this little valley. All right, so let's take this over. Go ahead and sew that. And this one doesn't require any trimming. It comes out to a 4.5 inch unit. Okay. Matching up my triangles up at the top and the edge of my fabric. All right, so right in that valley is where I started to sew. At my 1/4 inch all the way down, and again it came out right at that notch. Okay, do it one more time. So you're going to do 4 of these, and again these get pressed toward the white Rex to the edge. So again, a little bit of heat, and we have a 4.5 inch unit. Now again, these can be made with this ruler any size from 1 inch up to 6 inch finished. Okay. So we have a couple of those. We'll go through the half squares very simply. When I make my half square triangles, these 5 inch squares, all we did was draw a line down the center, sewed a 1/4 inch from either side of that unit. We cut it in half, pressed it toward the darker side, which is the feathers, and then I used my ruler to trim it down to 4.5. And the nice thing about these Creative Grid rulers is they have a 1/2 inch side, and they also have a 45 degree. So I can place this ruler up to a 4.5 inch edge, and go ahead, and as long as this 45 degree angle comes right down between my 2 pieces, I can go ahead and trim my unit. Okay, it'll be a little bit bigger, not much bigger, maybe 1/8 inch bigger, but it's nice to have a unit that measures 4.5, nice and square. All right, the other one is we've done in the past. It's also a square and a square. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our sable 3 3/8 square, and we're going to put opposite sides centered. So find the center of each one, sew that, press that. Then we're going to take our other 2 white triangles that we cut apart, find our middle, sew that, and press that. And again, this unit comes out at 4.5 inches. Pretty easy for basic. The only tricky thing is really the tri-tool this month. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the block, and we'll see you next month.